Mr. Sergeant at Arms.
Madam Speaker, the members of the judiciary are ready to enter the chamber for the joint session.
Please admit the members of the judiciary. Welcome to the chamber. Mr. Sergeant at Arms.
Madam Speaker, the statewide elected officials and leaders from the University of Delaware, Delaware State University, and Delaware Technical Community College are ready to enter the chamber for joint session.
Please admit the statewide elected officials and leaders from our institutions of higher learning. Welcome to the chamber. Mr. Sergeant at Arms.
Madam Speaker, the governor's cabinet members are ready to enter the chamber for the joint session.
Please admit the cabinet members.
Yes, welcome.
How are you?
Thank you for having us. How are you, sir? That'll work.
Hi, welcome.
Never know.
Welcome. Thank you. Okay, so we're down to here.
Okay. Then
So,
I don't do anything until the next couple of pages down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I'm right here.
Okay.
That's later. Yes. We can move this up the non-me's way.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Brother Nam.
Welcome to the chamber. Members and guests, please take your seats. Leader Harris.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House and Senate meet in a joint session for the purpose of hearing an address from Matthew S. Meyer, Governor of the State of Delaware.
Second.
If there's no objection, so ordered. Leader Harris.
Madam Speaker, I move that you, as Speaker of the House, preside over the joint session.
Second.
If there's no objection, so ordered. Leader Harris.
Madam Speaker, I move that the Chief Clerk of the House and the Secretary of the Senate act as secretaries of the joint session.
Second.
If there's no objection, so ordered. Leader Harris.
Madam Speaker, I move that you appoint a committee of 4 to escort the Governor of the State of Delaware to the joint session.
Second.
If there's no objection, so ordered. I hereby appoint spokesperson Representative Alana Berry, along with Representative Rich Collins, Senator Laura Sturgeon, and Senator Brian Pettyjohn to form the committee to escort the governor to the joint session. The joint session stands in temporary recess until the governor arrives. Please remain in your seats. Mr. Sergeant at Arms.
Madam Speaker, the escort party has arrived with Governor Meyer and is ready to enter the chamber.
Leader Harris.
Madam Speaker, I move that you admit Governor Meyer to the joint session.
Second.
If no objection, so ordered. Please admit the escort party with Governor Meyer.
Surely do.
Wait, Governor.
Back here? Sorry.
Representative Berry.
Madam Speaker, I am honored to welcome Governor Matthew S. Meyer to the House Chamber for his State of the State address.
Welcome, Governor Meyer. Please come forward to the podium to address the joint session. Everyone, please be seated. Thank you, Governor Meyer, for your address. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
By many members of Ty's family, including his parents, Karen and Matt. Thank you. I would like to ask Ty's wife, Lauren, to join me up here as we honor his heroism by awarding Ty with the highest honor in our state, the Order of the First State. I also want to recognize Delaware State Police Trooper First Class Scott Smith for his heroic actions that day. He is here today, along with his family and Troop 2 leadership. Earlier today, I honored Trooper Smith with the Governor's Award for heroism and bravery. So let's give a round of applause to Trooper Smith. I want to just take a moment and thank all of the first responders, police, especially the Delaware State Police and Newcastle County Police, emergency dispatchers, emergency responders, doctors, nurses, and hospital staff who responded on that day. I also want to thank the DMV employees and customers who helped each other and worked to protect one another in the midst of tragedy. I appreciate your resilience, and continued commitment to customer service and to public service. I also want to take a moment and thank the leadership of Secretary Bushweller, Colonel Crotty, Secretary Hastings, Deputy Secretary of Transportation Clymer, and DMV Director Anthony, leaders who ran towards danger to support their teams and their fellow Delawareans. Moments like these test a state. Over the past year, we have faced challenges, tragedy, and unprecedented uncertainty. But I am here to report to you that despite this, the state of our state is strong. We have not backed down to threats. We have not retreated. We have not allowed chaos to define us. Instead, we have met each challenge head-on together. Now is not the time to shy away from difficulty, because challenge creates opportunity, and opportunity, when met with purpose, makes us stronger. Delaware faces forces beyond our control. Political division is deeper than at any time in generations. Markets are reaching historic highs, while working families struggle to keep up. Hardworking Delawareans just looking for a fair shot can barely get by, while federal dysfunction often adds instability instead of solutions. Climate change remains a real crisis to the lowest-lying state in America, especially in Sussex County, an epicenter for tourism and agriculture. And the cost of living continues to go up. Yet we are working with purpose to face these challenges head on and continue to deliver for Delawareans. Our quality of life remains high. Our open spaces remain protected. Our cost of living remains more affordable than our neighbors. Companies are choosing Delaware. Families are choosing to grow here. And a record number of people are choosing to call the first state their home. We are seeing more incorporations, more job creation, fewer crimes, Delaware students launching world-class innovations from Price's Corner to Paris, France. But let's be honest, we still have work to do. Work to expand opportunity, to protect affordability, to keep communities safe, and to ensure Delaware wins the future in a fiercely competitive global marketplace. And that work begins early, before a child ever walks into a classroom. Delaware families deserve the best early childhood education system in America. Thanks to the leadership of Secretary Martin and the partnership of the Lieutenant Governor and her office, Delaware recently secured a competitive national grant. And with our proposed budget, along with your support, we will make a nearly $50 million investment in early childhood education in the next year. With this historic investment and crucial partnerships across my administration, I'm proud that the Lieutenant Governor will lead this effort to build stronger systems that invest in families. We will address waiting lists, support working families, and partner with employers to expand access to childcare. We look forward to continued partnership with Speaker Minor Brown, Senator Lockman, and Representatives Cam Smith and Romer, all passionate advocates for early child care providers and families. Equal educational opportunity is the foundation of a thriving first state. Equal educational opportunity is the bedrock of a just and fair Delaware. If a child cannot read, they cannot succeed. A year ago, we declared a literacy emergency, and we meant it. Every elementary school, kindergarten through third grade, is now using literacy screeners, an early warning system to identify challenges. More schools are adopting the science of reading, proven, evidence-based instruction. And through your voice, your choice, in partnership with Donors Choose, we are putting funds directly in teachers' hands. More than 41,000 books just in the past few months. More than 18,000 instructional kits. More than 4,000 Delaware classrooms directly supported. Thank you, Representative Williams and Senator Pardee, and all our legislative partners for making this possible. We're joined today by a teacher, Miss Maddie Rierick from Sussex Central Middle School, whose students with visual impairments now learn alongside their peers because of this program. And thanks to Secretary Martin and her team, we won an additional $8.7 million grant, competitive grant, to improve evidence-based literacy in grades 4 through 8. This is what smart investment looks like. Look, we also know we cannot fund schools in 2026 using a formula written in the 1940s. Thanks to the leadership of Senator Sturgeon and Representative Williams and the entire Public Education Funding Commission, historic progress was made last year. This year, let's finish the job. Let's pass a fair funding formula that directs Let's pass a funding formula that directs resources based on students' actual needs. At the same time, we must reduce bureaucracy and demand accountability to produce actual gains in student performance. The Reading Consortium has been focused for years on producing better student performance. The consortium's bold recommendations include a historic consolidation of districts. We know there's a lot more work to be done, and we must move forward thoughtfully. Combining districts alone will not deliver more equitable educational opportunity. But done right, this could be a major leap forward for equal opportunity in our communities. Thank you to Senator Lockman, Representative Chukwocha, former Lieutenant Governor Den, and other legislators and members of the commission for their leadership. Thank you also to former President of the State Board of Education, Sean Brittingham, for his years of service to the state. I appreciate the Senate's timely consideration of public servant and former teacher John Sheehan for this important role. Listen, our focus is simple: student outcomes. If something works, we invest more. If it doesn't, we change course. Because innovation must exist not just in labs, but in classrooms. A few weeks ago, my wife Lauren and I watched a 60 Minutes piece about cutting-edge synthetic biology work being done by high school students in Atlanta, Georgia, at one of about 15 schools with this program in America. Those Atlanta students went to Paris to a global science competition. Lauren turned and asked me, why not in Delaware? Why can't we do this here? The answer is, we already are. Students from the Charter School of Wilmington were one of those 15 schools nationally. Their iGEM team represented our country and brought home a gold medal at the International Jamboree in Paris last fall for their work bioengineering bacteria to better degrade oil spills. We're joined today by iGEM program founder Margit Olson, advisor Dr. Michael Valenti, and team member Subi Srinivasan. Let's give them a round of applause. That is Delaware talent on the world stage, and we need to make sure our students are global leaders in every corner of our state. But innovations in classrooms must be matched by innovations in care. Let's not sugarcoat it. No one would design an American healthcare system the way it exists today. My wife Lauren sees it every day in the emergency room. Too many Delawareans lack primary care. Too many Delawareans have lost insurance due to federal cuts, and our senior population is growing faster than our provider workforce. We must work harder to support those who need health care, especially when thousands of Delawareans' health care premiums are going up by thousands of dollars due to congressional Republicans' unconscionable cutting of Affordable Care Act subsidies. Thank you to Insurance Commissioner Trinidad Navarro for fighting to keep insurance premiums down. After touring health providers across Sussex and Kent counties, we developed 15 transformative healthcare programs and applied for federal rural health transformation funding. Thank you to the numerous legislators, Democrats and Republicans, who are contributing to this effort and other healthcare efforts. I especially wanted to thank Speaker Minor Brown, Leader Townsend, Senator Pinckney, and Representatives Chirkocha, Hilofsky, and Berry. Because of this work, the federal government has sent preliminary notice that we will, over the next 5 years, receive more funding than any other competitive grant in our state's history. This is an opportunity that allows us to pursue Delaware's first medical school, training physicians to serve statewide, expand training for nurses and physician's assistants, and bring care directly into homes through telehealth, food as medicine, and community health programs. But to make this work, we must act. That means expanding the scope of practice so providers can work at the top of their licenses. We must reform Certificate of Need to increase both access and competition. We're also expanding mobile health units through more than 300 events annually, reaching more Delawareans and distributing twice as many overdose reversal kits. This is what meeting people where they are looks like. A transformational program like this one only comes together with the collaboration of many, many, many people. Thank you to Healthcare Commission Chair Dr. Hochstein, the Delaware Hospital Association, the many healthcare providers across the state, and our DHSS Secretary Young. Look, we look forward to partnering with the legislature to implement these programs that will enhance access and improve health across our state. And we're protecting our youngest brains by aggressively addressing lead exposure, thanks to the leadership of Majority Leader Harris, Senator Pinckney, and countless advocates. Housing remains one of our greatest challenges. We face a shortage of nearly 20,000 affordable units statewide. 1/3 of housing costs today, 1/3, have nothing to do with construction and everything to do with red tape. So we're streamlining permitting, digitizing approvals, and working with counties and municipalities to make Delaware the most efficient state in the nation to build affordable housing without sacrificing farmland or open space. We need to be focused on smart growth that fills the housing needs of our working families while also protecting our environment. Our proposed budget continues our state's commitment to farmland preservation and open spaces while developing housing, transportation, and energy in strategic ways. Thank you to Housing Authority Director Heckles and Secretaries Hastings and Clifton for your work on these initiatives. In the coming months, we will implement the first of a series of reforms to make building affordable housing affordable. Delaware will have the most streamlined, efficient, and transparent permitting systems in the country when it comes to addressing our housing crisis. Thanks to the work of Senator Huxtable and Representative Johnson, we are already helping communities implement zoning reforms to enable increased housing production. Thank you to the 9 local jurisdictions who have already stepped up to join this initial program. We are building housing for all, and that includes giving real opportunities to our most vulnerable neighbors. The Hope Center in Newcastle County has been a bridge to a better tomorrow for Delaware families. Thanks to the federal rural health grant, we will develop new counterparts to the Hope Center in both Kent and Sussex counties. We look forward to collaborating with Senator Buxton and other members of the General Assembly, as well as community partners on these new centers so that in our Delaware, in this prosperous and technological age, no one gets left behind. And too many Delawareans, hardworking Delawareans, are getting squeezed simply by turning on their lights. You and I are not doing anything different than we were last year or the year before, but our energy bills are spiking. A couple in Bear just told me how they are trying to understand their bill jumping from $150 per month 2 years ago to $600 per month today. That is unacceptable. Delmarva Power must stop overcharging Delaware families. In a world where Delmarva can benefit from a never-ending cycle of profiting from building infrastructure, your monthly bill will always go up and never go down. Customers are getting squeezed from all ends. Regional costs are skyrocketing. The underlying cost of energy is increasing, pushed higher and higher by rapidly growing demand. Rate increases far beyond inflation are unacceptable. Delmarva's out-of-state shareholders should not take advantage of Delaware's families who are working to make ends meet. We must hold these monopolies accountable. To that, I and we all appreciate the work that Representatives Ross Levin, Burns, Heffernan, Snyder Hall, Phillips, and of course, Senator Hansen, and so many of you are doing around energy affordability. We set up an energy affordability fund last year together, and that is actually helping Delawareans today. But we must do more now. Today, I call on the Public Service Commission to stop approving any Delmarva rate hikes. They cannot repeatedly pass along egregious price increases to Delaware families. Last year, this legislature, with Senator Hansen's leadership, took action, and I signed into law tools that the Public Service Commission can use to hold utility companies accountable. It is time for them to use those tools. It's also critical to our future economic success that we generate more power here in Delaware. Power of multiple types. Now, this may be hard to do. For a moment, I want everyone to forget about politics. Okay? Just forget about politics. Power projects, they cost a lot of money, and they can take a long time to get up and running, often a decade or more. Imagine if we could turn on 1.7 gigawatts of power generation. That's more than a flux capacitor. That is more than enough energy, much more than enough energy, to power every household in Delaware. We need more homegrown energy to lower electricity bills. And that's why U.S. Wind, a 1.7 gigawatt project, can and must be part of the solution. We also need safe, modern, nuclear energy. Thanks, Ron. I thank Senators Hansen and Richardson and Representatives Burns and Holofsky for their participation thus far on the Nuclear Energy Feasibility Task Force. Let's move this forward now, because affordability depends on increasing our energy supply and becoming more efficient. We look forward to partnering with you on energy solutions in the coming months. Delaware is closer than ever to being the first state in the country with universal high-speed broadband. Today, 72% of Delawareans can make a high-speed video call from home. That's darn good for America, but it's not good enough for Delaware in 2026. Thanks to former broadband director Roddy Flynn and the DTI team, including outgoing CIO Greg Lane, Delaware secured historic funding to bring high-speed internet to thousands of homes and businesses. We will continue to stand up for Delawareans when federal actions threaten Delaware families. Delaware must be a place where those who fall down can get back up. When SNAP shut down, we stepped up. Secretary Young was in her first weeks on the job, but thanks to her leadership and the DHSS team, families had food on their tables on Thanksgiving. Delaware National Guard Major General Benson worked tirelessly to support his command through the longest federal government shutdown in American history. Numerous military heroes in our state actually worked without pay for 43 days. New to her job, but not new to the fight, is Veterans Affairs Secretary Karen Berry, our first Veterans Affairs Secretary. General Berry is working tirelessly to make sure our veterans are heard, supported, and getting the assistance that they have earned and deserve. Thank you to Representative Carson, Senator Poore, and all the legislators who led this multi-year charge to establish this new secretary-level role. I would like to extend a personal thank you to Senator Lawson for your advocacy for years in Delaware, fueled by your own experience as a combat veteran. We hope you feel better, Senator Lawson. Listen, we can do all of this, and we can keep taxes low because we are the preeminent home to the corporate franchise. Delaware is the jewel of corporate governance, not just for America, but truly for the world. We are achieving record success. Today, more companies than ever are incorporated in Delaware. In the first 10 months of 2025, nearly 280,000 new entities incorporated in Delaware. That's 14% more than the 10 months of 2024, the year before. Okay, 280,000 may not beat Delaware's chicken population, but that's more new entities in 10 months than the entire population of this county, Kent County. Clarity, stability, and fairness remain our goals, and while other states race to the bottom, we will continue to lead the nation and the world. We need to thank House and Senate Democratic and Republican leadership, including Senate President Pro Tem Sokola, Speaker Minor Brown, Representative Osinski, as well as Leader Townsend and Representative Griffiths, and so many of you for your steadfast and united support for prioritizing our corporate franchise. Secretary of State Patty Bonda Sanchez's dedication and leadership on this important issue is why Delaware remains the premier destination for incorporation. Thank you, Secretary Patibanda Sanchez. And honestly, thanks to the Division of Corporation team and all of us working together, I'm happy to report that our corporate franchise is stronger than it has ever been. But Delaware can't just be the best place to incorporate your business. Delaware must be the best place to do business, a place where businesses start, where they invest, and where they hire, where they grow, and where they succeed. That's happening right now. Merck's $1 billion life sciences investment, one of the largest private investments in our state's history, is a signal to the country and the world that Delaware is open for business and ready to lead. Delaware is on the forefront of the innovation economy, with companies like Eternium working to lead in hydrogen, Qnity manufacturing chip parts, and Insight and ILC Dover leading in life sciences. The first state will continue to back innovation, strengthen our workforce, and compete in a global economy that is not slowing down for anyone. We're also embarking on an ambitious modernization of Delaware's banking and payments framework. This is about updating rules for an increasingly digital world while maintaining strong consumer protections. With the leadership of Senator Mansavinos, we are leading the groundwork for the most significant update to our banking laws in decades, once again positioning our state to lead, not follow, in the future of banking. Speaking of innovation, the Delaware Prosperity Partnership is expanding its mission, not only to recruit large employers, but also to grow an innovation economy that starts right here at home. Because small business owners are facing true headwinds, rising costs, workforce shortages, constantly shifting federal policy and tariffs, and regulations that too often make it harder to grow. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens when talented people have the tools, capital, and support they need at the moment they need it. Thank you to Senators Walsh and Pettyjohn and Representatives Bush and Yerrick for your commitment to our state's economic success through your work on the DPP board. Small businesses are the heart of our community, as small business owners, leaders Hocker and Dukes and Representatives Spiegelman, Short, and Vanderwyn know. And my administration is listening closely to what you're telling us. That's why we strengthened the EDGE grant program to help Delaware small businesses get the equipment, space, and support they need to grow. Last year alone, we helped nearly 50 Delaware small businesses take their next step. We put more than $14 million in federal small business funding to work last year, helping companies, Delaware companies, expand, innovate, and create jobs without using a dollar of your state tax funds. And because we worked hard to get this assistance to our small businesses, Delaware actually has unlocked another $20 million of federal money this year. We appreciate the work of the Division of Small Business, extraordinary work getting this money out to businesses that need it. And we also recognize that the creative economy matters. Delaware has talent. Delaware has stories. Delaware has potential that can translate into jobs and investment if we take it seriously. So it does not make sense to me that Delaware is one of the few states in America without a film or tax credit. From farms and suburbs to big businesses to big buildings and beaches, we truly have everything here, all within a 90-minute drive at the longest. Okay, we actually don't have ski slopes, but that may change this weekend. The new Superman movie is literally set in Delaware. They should be shooting here. Hey, Aubrey Plaza, how about White Lotus, Rehoboth? But seriously, we're just going to let so many other neighboring states soak up all that Hollywood money? I may look more like Clark Kent than Superman, but not on my watch. This is what smart government looks like. It's what smart investment looks like. Real investment, real return. At the same time, we're making long-term infrastructure investments that will shape our economy for decades. The Diamond State Port Corporation continues to move forward on the Edgemoor Port expansion, a once-in-a-generation project that will create jobs, strengthen our supply chain, and position Delaware for the future. I thank their entire board for their leadership. And as we build our economy, we must prepare people for the jobs that come next. That's why we strengthen coordination through the Office of Workforce Development and revitalize the Workforce Development Board. Thank you to Senator Poore and Representative Lambert for your leadership on this effort. And we're starting earlier, breaking down silos so more young Delawareans can move from school to training to good-paying jobs right here at home. I charge multiple leaders with improving our fragmented youth workforce development programs. And thank you to Secretaries Gordon, Moultrie, and Martin for collaborating to bring more young Delawareans into our state workforce. We didn't just look outward. We also worked to make sure our house is in order. Thanks to the work of Budget Director Brian Maxwell and his team, our budget includes $65 million in new efficiencies and cost savings. And thanks to the efforts of Finance Secretary Michael Smith, I'm looking forward to presenting a responsible budget next week that truly puts families first. Thank you in advance to Representative Williams, Senator Pardee, Senator Walsh, and Representative Heffernan for your partnership as we work to sustainably fund critical services. For the first time in years, my proposed budget will return our state to manageable growth, under 5%. But good government isn't just about efficiency. Good government also involves transparency, which Auditor York champions every day. It's time for meaningful election reform, which is why I support Representative Bolden's and also Representative Gorman's bills to make our primary election system truly work for Delawareans. For years, our unemployment insurance office has been saddled with inefficiency and unfortunately even misconduct. The consequences, Delawareans are unable to receive their unemployment benefits fairly and on time. 1 year ago, we brought on Secretary Moultrie, and I asked her to fix it. As of today, a backlog of open cases has decreased by 70%. From over 7,000 claims when I took office a year ago to fewer than 2,000 today. This backlog, growing for years, will be gone in a matter of weeks. I wanted to write a matter of months. They said, no, weeks. Thank you, Secretary Moultrie and team, for your hard work for Delaware. I also wanted to highlight a sea change at DENREC, where in his first week, Secretary Patterson has transformed the culture into one of efficiency and collaboration. From reforming the reservation system for drive-on beaches to creating dashboards and improved systems for air and water permitting, thanks to Secretary Patterson's leadership, tides are turning at DENREC. In Delaware, we are proud of our Attorney General, Kathy Jennings. The heroes at our Department of Justice have been on the front lines defending our state and our people when we've come under attack. Our Attorney General has been a national leader in the legal battle to ensure that the dollars allocated to all states in these United States keep flowing without cruel and unlawful restrictions. Under her leadership, our Delaware Department of Justice has saved $856 $1.7 million for Delaware just in the past 12 months. We will continue to work unapologetically to stand up for our values, welcome all communities, and do what's right. Thanks to the fearless work of Senator Pinckney and Representatives Gorman, Ortega, and Lynn, as well as so many other legislators last year, we took strides to protect the most vulnerable communities, families, and individuals in our state. Delaware is safer thanks to the work of countless public servants and the success of so many community initiatives. Senator Hoffner has been a champion on so many criminal justice reform initiatives. Recidivism is at historically low rates, thanks to the leadership of Commissioner Taylor and the whole Department of Correction. Families and children are safer because of the work of the Kids Department and their Secretary Yateman. Shootings in 2025 were at some of the lowest numbers we have seen in years, and we're going to continue to work on this because one shooting in this state is one shooting too many. On November 24th, Newcastle County Police noticed a car with their lights on in Canby Park after hours. Attentive, diligent police work by Newcastle County police officers Jay Zerbo, Nathan Jupiter, and Christopher Hewlett thwarted a planned terrorist attack on the University of Delaware. Please join me in recognizing those officers who are represented today by Newcastle County Police Chief Jamie Leonard. Before I close, I want to acknowledge the impactful service of multiple people here with us today who've announced their retirements and a few who are not with us. Justin, Karen Valahira, thank you for your 12 years of continuing exceptional service to our state Supreme Court. To our treasurer, Colleen Davis, thank you for your commitment to making it easier for Delawareans to save. To retiring legislators, Dave Lawson, Rich Collins, Charles Postles, as well as for nearly 4 decades, Dave Sokola. I also want to take a moment and acknowledge some Delaware legends whom we lost this year. Governor Mike Castle was a public servant whose thoughtful mind, steady hand, and bipartisan spirit earned him the respect of colleagues and constituents across this state and across the political spectrum. Dr. Jerome Lewis, a role model who opened doors and taught so many listening today, so many who are here today, about effective public administration. Charlie Pardee, a Kent County legend who exemplified the values of hard work, integrity, and service. John Kowalko, one of the strongest progressive voices for years in this very room. Ray Fermani, one of the longest living World War II veterans. And John Brady, who served as the first openly gay elected official in our state and who was instrumental in shaping the legal and civic landscape of Sussex County and beyond. Each of these people we lost in 2025, including Ty Snook. They each believed in the goodness of our community and our state and were willing to sacrifice for it. Listen, we all know that within this building, there are heated debates. And outside this building, with trillion-dollar social media companies printing money by triggering your anger and our division, it is harder than ever to come together and move this state forward. But we owe it to the legacies of these tremendous leaders, these heroes, to work together, to get real work done for Delawareans now. I want to thank my parents, Bob and Ellen, who are here today. Their unconditional love and frequent babysitting has meant more to Lauren and me than words can express. Without you, I truly would not be here today. And last but certainly not least, thank you to my extraordinary and lovely wife, our First Lady, Dr. Governor Meyer. There are 50 states in this country and nearly that many First Ladies and First Gentlemen. But there is no First Lady in America today who is saving lives daily like you do. And I know that you barely miss any of our kids' performances, practices, or games. Thank you for all you do for me, for our family, for your patience, for being patient, and for our fellow Delawareans. I love you. So I'll finish up. We have about 48 hours to get ready before the snowstorm. Dress warmly, shovel your walkways. Once the snow starts, be careful out there and follow any government directions so that we all stay safe. And a plug from Secretary Clifton, don't wait to the last minute to buy milk at the grocery store. Support your farmers, buy local. May God bless the extraordinary heroes who work as first responders and in the National Guard. May God bless the state of Delaware, and may God bless these beautiful United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Meyer, for your address.